Hello, this is David from the Bookman in Orange, California, with a weekly segment on things found in old books. Today I have some stuff to share with you that I think is pretty darn interesting. So we will start with a book right here, not too fancy, it's called Etiquette. And it was published in this version was posted in 1943. It's the Emily Post, and it's still being published. And inside this book on etiquette, appropriately, was a little booklet right here, checklist for the groom, right there. So when you're a groom, you would read the instructions here and you check them off as you go along. And you got things to do as soon as possible. They have it listed, like check your finances to see what kind of wedding trip you can afford. That's number one. Select and make arrangements with your attendants, the best man and ushers, and order your wedding clothing. It goes on. And well in advance, and has a list of well in advance. Get marriage license is one. Buy gifts for the best man and the ushers. In the last few days, it says here, have final fittings of clothes, arrange your transportation to the church, and so forth. And then last minute, it's got broken down here. It's on a timeline. Give wedding ring to the best man. Do last minute packing. These are all like last minute things. In the very back, it has groom's expenses. So you got the groom's got to pay. You got to do the. I missed a page here. Let's see here. Here it is. It's on the back here. Duties of the best man. And so when you're the best man, you get this back page, and carries a marriage license to the wedding place and produces it at the proper moment. I've got a number of different things to do. The last one I found particularly intriguing. It says, assists the couple to the car and acts as a shield against part of the deluge of rice and old shoes. So that was in 1952. I guess they used to throw old shoes at the wedding couples. I've never been to a wedding yet where they've thrown old shoes and not been arrested. So there's that little checklist for. Maybe it's still valid today. I don't know. Now we get a lot of annuals that come through the store. I really do. And they're fun to look at. I really get a kick out of looking at annuals, especially the older ones. This is from 1949. It's called the El Scimitar. It's from Antelope Valley out here in California. That's kind of a hot area, deserty. But so you got your Antelope Valley. It's not it's kind of got little brads holding it together, so it's not the top of the line annual, but it's got all the typical annual stuff in it from 1949. But inside here, what I found interesting was we had this is a around the clock in style. What it is, it's an Antelope Valley Junior College fashion show. And so they have the evening all laid out with the music and the places that donated clothes for the fashion show. It has a string quartet playing, and it has a list of people, names and addresses who are, I imagine, in the show. And they also I found in here, a little program to the AVJC, which Antelope Valley Junior College versus Bakersfield. And 1947, 8 p.m., a little football game. And inside it has this beautiful Coca-Cola ad, time out for Coke. And it has the home team, the Marauders, against the Bakersfield Renababes, Renebabes, Renababes. I'm sorry. And has the name of the players. And on the back, a lot of hometown advertising. Go to the Horn Inn, a good place to eat for that evening snack. So after the game, you go to the Horn Inn. And finally, from my archives of book things found in old books that I've stored for a while, I've never been able to share those with anybody. I'm kind of happy to do it now. This is a photograph, the kind of thing that you would buy when you go out to dinner sometimes. They still do it, really. They take a photograph of you sitting at your table. And this is from Earl Carroll Theater Restaurant. And I did a little research on the Earl Carroll Theater and Earl Carroll, and it was quite a big deal back in the 30s and the 40s. And it was this huge, gorgeous theater type of thing with beautiful art. A giant statue when you walk in, holding a neon light bulb, and they had this giant turning stage, and they put on these grand shows, and in the audience was actually a long row of dinner tables, and so it was like a dinner theater, and it was quite fancy, and it's an amazing place. The place is still there. They have turned it into a different theater. I mean, Hair ran for 2 years there, the production of Hair, and they've filmed a lot of TV shows there as well. But anyway, so the photograph, here we go. So we got two people. I'll get a better picture for you to show you. It shows a group of people sitting at the table. Obviously, the two men are from in the service, and you can see they're sitting at one of the tables, and there's more tables behind. And on the back, on the back it's dated May 6, 1944. So the war was still raging, and these soldiers were in town on leave, and they all went to the Earl Carroll Theater up in Hollywood, California. And it must have been quite the night there. And it says buy war bonds and stamps. So, this is a fascinating piece of history there. And that's all I have today. And I want to thank you for stopping by. I do want to mention that I really would like to see some of your stuff that you find in used books, and just feel free to send it along with a description and a picture to oldbook@ebookman.com. That's oldbook, no S, oldbook@ebookman.com, and I'd be more than happy to share it here on this broadcast. Well, thank you for stopping by, and until next week, goodbye.